Today we're going to talk about the future of broadcast and the media business, and it's not where you expect it to be coming from. The thing about the internet and the whole digital revolution is that it comes out of nowhere. 10 years ago, the biggest companies were General Electric, General Motors, and IBM. Today, I mean, they're gone. The biggest companies are Amazon, Google, and Facebook, companies that didn't even exist for all practical purposes a decade ago. So they pop out of there, and the reason is they're driven by new technologies, and not just new technologies, but the implications that new technologies have and how people use them. In my opinion, for what it's worth, I think the future of broadcast is right here on Peloton. Now, probably you know Peloton is a bicycle company, or an exercise bicycle company like this one. And the guys who formed Peloton formed it only 2 years ago with an initial investment of $400,000. Today, it's worth $8 billion. The reason it's so interesting is not because 1 million people are buying these exercise bikes and working out on them. The reason it's so powerful and worth so much money is because they figured something out that has to do with the media and video, and it's something I want to share with you because I think that this is the future of broadcasting and media. Not Facebook, not Twitter, not Instagram, not NBC, not CBS, not CNN, not any of those guys. I think it's right here. You're sitting on it if you're doing your exercises. And why is that? What happened with Peloton was the guy who formed it, he was an executive at Barnes & Noble. And he used to go to these exercise classes, and he thought the classes were a lot of fun and he had a great time. But when he went home to exercise on his own bike, like this one, it was boring because he was all alone. So the genius that he did was he put video on the bike, but he also made it possible for the person on the bike to use video to be in the class. That is, you could not only see the class, you could participate in the class, and you could video in and talk to your neighbors and stuff like that, and the thing took off like that. The reason it took off is not because riding a bike with video is more fun. The reason it took off because being with people in real time is more fun. It doesn't matter whether you're riding a bike or you're watching a movie or you're exercising or eating or whatever, you're working. The notion of being able to video in with other people and participate with other people, that's the key. That's the genius thing that he tapped into. And that is, to me, what the future of broadcast is going to be. Right now, broadcast, video, television, it's all the same thing, whether it's Netflix or it's AT&T or it's CBS and YouTube, it's passive. That is, you sit there and you watch something that happened a long time ago or yesterday. The material is basically all dead. When you're on Peloton, you are live. The stuff is live. It's happening right now. And reality and live beats out dead any day of the week. So this is a whole new way of thinking about how the media works. It's no longer sitting and watching what somebody did a long time ago, no matter who makes it. It's now a question of participating in the media as it's actually happening. Let's call it participatory media. Participatory media, it's a good name, because you and I and everybody else get to participate in real time as opposed to sitting and watching something that's old and dead and happened a long time ago. And the interesting thing here is the notion of participation is you can change it. That's what makes it really cool. If you watch an episode of Jeopardy, you can sit at home and go, oh, what is the capital of Oklahoma? But it doesn't mean anything because you're just talking to your friends or your relatives, or you're watching Jeopardy, you're probably just talking to yourself. But if Jeopardy was to restructure itself so that it was done the same way Peloton is done, then every single person in America could video into the show while it's happening and change the nature of the show. You could do this with fiction. You could change the nature of the plot. You could participate in murder mysteries. You see where this is headed? It's headed towards a notion of real-time participation. Now, we see the power of real-time when we look at instant messaging versus emails, for instance, or at least snail mail, for example, because the cool thing about instant messaging is it's instant and you can go back and forth, but that's only 2 people. But imagine if you could video instant message with 1,000 people or 10,000 people or 100,000 people or 1 million people all in real time and see them as it's actually happening, because text messaging is one person to one person or one person, a group of 3 or 4 people that's generally text. It's interesting, but it's not as cool as this sucker is. So for my money, the future of video, especially with 5G coming down the road, which is going to blow up bandwidth to about 100 times the speed it is now on average. So the video is going to go like that. You're going to be able to come in, you're going to be able to come out, you're going to be able to talk to people. To me, this is the future of television, media, communications, journalism, and exercise bikes, whatever you want to call it. So check it out. This is the place to be, and this is what we're going to be paying a lot of attention to in the very near future. Stick with it.